Excellent, excellent, beautiful. Now I want you to give it up for the three-time drill team, Los Angeles, California, Moss number 27. Please give it up for the championship drill team.
How many times do we have to be found slain in the streets in our community? We demand justice for Ezell Ford, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, and Mike Brown. Now the soldiers are here. Move. Your left flank march, right flank march to the rear march. Your left flank march, right flank march, freeze. To the rear march. Original salute. Brigade salute. By my left, by my right. Original salute. Brigade salute. Vanguard salute. Simulate the lead, simulate the lead.
Come on with it.
Count your cadence, count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Delay cadence, count. Delay cadence, count up. Your left flank march to the rear march. Your left flank march, home run left flank march. Head, head, head.
Go ahead. Come on. Give it up, give it up. Make some noise for the three-time champ drill team. That was beautiful. Beautiful, sisters. All right. Up next, everybody, we have Suzette Nelson from Grant AME Church, who will be doing our national black anthem. Please stand, everybody.
Has taught us, sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun. march on till victory is won. Is won.
Sorry.
I'm using that, right?
Yeah, go ahead and use it.
I'm gonna use.
Just, we all gonna go on this way because we're gonna start exiting. Can we go on that side right now? Like right now. Oh, come on.
How y'all enjoying the morning? That's good, that's good. So today I come here speaking to you from a place of love so deep I didn't know existed. One that helped me to penetrate yet another level, another layer of what it means to be a servant leader for my people. A place that we oftentimes felt that it was cold, ugly, and challenging beyond belief. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But no doubt in my mind, a place I needed to go. A place many of us tend to dwell more and more each day as we pursue the work of our people, liberation being the goal. And it is through this process, the process of struggle and sacrifice, delicately intertwined and rooted in love, that we move towards liberation. Liberation for all African people. Liberation is why we are here. And when we find ourselves in question of that, we are forced to make a decision. We're often forced to make that sacrificial decision whether you're losing sleep or your grades are slipping, or whether you let your job go to make sure that you could be here like myself, to witness this revival, or sacrifice life in the name of freedom. One of the greats made it ever more clear the decision we will ultimately be faced with is freedom or death. And in the name of love, it's the one we must be prepared to make. And such commitment to our mission will allow for us to have a thriving Black nation. So you know, when the committee came together, firstly, absolutely raw talent. My God, raw talent, I say. And folks wanted to focus on our Black nation, you know, quickly acknowledging that we're not creating anything new. As you can see here as well, whether it be the motherland and so on, but the pain and suffering experience only left us with feeling like we need to heal. We need to help to revive, breathe life into the nation that already exists for our people. It is something that we need to understand, that we are not creating anything new, that the work and the foundation has been laid for us, and that we are simply carrying a torch to take that to the next level as we continue on our pursuit to liberation for all African people. So as you go through this weekend, I have a few things that I ask of you. As a Black, queer, trans, differently abled man who grew up poor, now economically stable, voluntarily residing in Oakland in an underloved hood, I ask that you seek to understand your privileges and how it informs your perspective and how that will have an impact on you, leading us towards our goal of liberation. And I also ask that you be open to and challenge all content, taking what is necessary and leaving what is not, including your own thoughts. And please finally join me in thanking the Ross Conference Planning Committee that ABC has had yet. Can y'all stand up, please? All the committee. Please. I just like to say that your work does not go unrecognized. We really appreciate all the time and effort that you put in, all the ups and downs that brought us here to this very beautiful and finna be lit conference. And I just say that, I really do appreciate you. And lastly, I'd like to say that I really thank y'all for all being here so that we can make sure that we are truly on our pursuit to liberation as we continue to try to revive our Black nation. Thank you.
Dr. Taylor will please share a few words, if you'd like. Oh, Langston, please share a few words. I'm sorry. Brother Langston. Please give it up for Brother Langston from Long Beach State.
Good morning, everybody. I thought it would be appropriate, being that this is the Afrikan Black Coalition, to have a Swahili introduction. So when I say Habari Gani, which means what is the news, please reply Ijema, meaning it's good. And then you reply Habari Gani, and I reply Ijema. A little call and response. Habari Gani. Ijema. Again, welcome to the Afrikan Black Coalition. My name is Langston Tolbert, and I'm bending a little bit too much for this. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. As well, Grips and Go Mob to the frat. As well as I serve as the president of the National Pan-Atlantic Council at Long Beach State. Thank you. I've been asked today to say a few words on behalf of our organization. The National Pan-Atlantic Council is composed of 9 Black Greek letter organizations: Alpha Phi Alpha, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Alpha Psi, Delta Sigma Theta, Phi Beta Sigma, my sorors, Zeta Phi Beta, Sigma Gamma Rho, and Iota Phi Theta. Now, when people usually hear or experience our fraternities and sororities, you usually associate us with stepping and strolling. And while it is true that we do get down, because best believe we do, as y'all saw yesterday, this is not why we were founded. We're founded in the essence of the upliftment of the Black community, to promote leadership, brotherhood, sisterhood, service and scholarship for the Black community. So many of our organizations have had over a century of service in doing so. So whether it be Martin Luther King, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, Maya Angelou, a member of AKA, or excuse me, Alpha Kappa Alpha, or Huey P. Newton, a member of my fraternity, we all serve this community, and we hope that you all take an interest in our organizations. Now, they're telling me I need to wrap it up a little bit. So I'd like to introduce the Vice President of our institution, Dr. Carmen Taylor, who is also a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
Well, thank you, Langston, for the beautiful introduction. And good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, thank you. Welcome to the 2017 14th Annual African Black Coalition Conference. You heard I am Dr. Carmen Taylor, Vice President for Student Affairs at the university here, Long Beach. And I bring you greetings and welcome on behalf of our president, Dr. Connolly, and California State University, Long Beach, as well as the city of Long Beach. This is the first time a CSU has hosted the ABC conference, and I am honored to stand before you on such a momentous occasion. Planning a conference of this nature, as you can imagine, takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, effort, and resources. There are a number of people who have worked hard to make this conference possible, and I would like to begin by thanking some of them. And before I do that, I am told to the universities of the state of California that there's over 17 to 25 schools represented. Majorly impressive. And you look beautiful in the room. So I want to recognize that, and your roll call put me in the right place this morning. So thank you. So I want to recognize some of our planning committee members that have worked really hard. And first, the students. I'll ask them to stand and hold the applause. I'm sure they'll be recognized someplace else. But I think it's important for the Vice President to give respect and honor to the students that have worked so hard. So please stand and hold the applause. Jada Fowler, if you're here. Alethra Spahn, Yasmin Gardner, Rashonda Scott, are you guys standing, I hope? Sabrine Thorne, Malia Blake, come forward, stand out. Kathleen Samuels, Shai Turner, Sanaya Rashid, Rue, Kiki Metellus, Miranda George, Jaslyn Livingston, Alexis Height, Xavier Harris, Ashley Dawkins, Jada Johnson, Devontae Matthews, Elise Scott, and of course, the conference vice chair, Justin Bradley, is on the stage here. This student group has worked really hard for the last 8 months since they've came to me. Now, obviously they've been doing a whole lot more before that time based on the production that has rolled out here this morning. But I want to thank you guys for doing such a marvelous job on behalf of the conference and California State University, Long Beach. Thank you. This is certainly a time in history we will mark. I also want to thank the fabulous advisors. Melita Wilson, please stand. She's been with us for only 4 months. And her support person, Ms. Tracy Kelly, who's been here maybe a year. They've also worked really hard closely with the students. Thank you. From the ABC organization, Salia Muhammad and Star Bacon, you've worked diligently with our CSU team. Where you guys at? I thank you. Additionally, I would like to thank the Mayor of Long Beach, Dr. Robert Garcia, and our CSU Chancellor's Office. They have done so much to pave the way for our campus in the city to host all of this, which is why we're here at the Westin this morning. And the Associated Students of Cal State Long Beach, who hosted the carnival last night. I want you all to know that I believe hosting this conference on the weekend that we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is truly remarkable. It is an example of what we can accomplish when we all work together and stand together. In honor of Dr. King, I would like to remind you of 2 famous quotes that I hold near to my heart. Dr. King said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." I hope you remember those words as you participate in this conference this weekend. I want you all to be safe in the city, safe on our campus. So self-governance is important. I know you will take care of one another. Always know where your neighbor is. Learn as much as you can. Engage in your workshops that you have planned. You will hear from amazing speakers and presenters and experts in the field. I am so delighted this morning I got to meet, after growing up in Chicago as a little girl on the South Side in the Civil Rights era, and down the street on 63rd Street from the Black Panther headquarters and all those things around me, I have been a part of the audience for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan maybe about 10 times, but this morning I got to meet him, and I thought, wow. So he will address you in a few minutes, and Dr. Monique Morris will speak to you tomorrow. So as you depart on Sunday evening or Monday morning, whenever you check out, I'm sure your experiences here will resonate with you for a lifetime. In closing, I hope you enjoy everything that has been planned for you. I hope that you network, have fellowship, make new friends, renew old relationships, and absorb all that is being offered. And most of all, I hope you remember, as Dr. King said, that only love can sustain us. I bid you peace and thank you for the few moments as a part of your conference.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Taylor, for those beautiful words. I also want to take the time out to thank Melita Wilson and Tracy Kelly for your dedication and your work from Cal State Long Beach. Highly appreciate you. Thank you so much. So I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but Rue Yusufu, Sabrine Thorne, Kiki Metellus, Devontae Matthews, Ashley Dawkins, Shai Tanner, Yasmin Gardner, Sister Sania, Sister Kathleen and Elise, Malia Blake, Kiari Kell, Chidiche Dike, Taharka Anderson, Reginald Vincent. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, and I honestly mean that. I am so proud of the black students that I have been able to work with on the campus of Cal State University Long Beach, and this is just such a beautiful moment. This is really a beautiful moment, a moment that I've honestly envisioned since I was in 11th grade at Long Beach Poly High School. So this is beautiful, and you know, it wouldn't be right for me to thank those who've allowed me to be right here in this position. This is amazing. And beyond that, Karen Bradley, Bria Bradley,
This is lost. It's her ID.
Parika Sampson, Loretta Sampson, Craig Bradley, Antoine Bradley, Samantha Bradley, and my whole family, Loretta Sampson. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Sorry, but you know, I love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and it was him and his words that taught me the essence of familyhood, the essence of togetherness, and the essence of unity. And I was coming, trying to prepare for the perfect things to say, and God always just makes a way. So, it would also be right for me to also thank Brother Salim Muhammad. The African Black Coalition, all of you all who are here in attendance. It was in 2011 when I was at Long Beach Poly High School where I first saw Minister Louis Farrakhan speak at UC Berkeley. And I was preparing, okay, it's not your time, hold on. And I was preparing to go to college. And it was Brother Salih, who I saw via live stream, how we are today, that inspired me to want to serve my community. He is the perfect example of the most honorable Louis Farrakhan that I know directly. I love that brother from the bottom of my heart. He's a beautiful brother. We might butt heads sometimes, but he's a beautiful brother. So with that, once again, I'm just appreciative. Family, I'm really appreciative that you all made it out. And that's the least I can say right now. So thank you all. And right now, I would love to introduce Brother Salim Muhammad, who will then bring on the minister.
Okay, Brother Salim.
Good morning, black folks. I always begin in the name of the one God, the beneficent, the merciful. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Can you all please give yourselves a big round of applause? We are very happy to have nearly 25 campuses from throughout the state of California here at the 14th Annual African Black Coalition Conference. This year's conference theme is Reviving Our Black Nation, and has been reflected in the work of ABC and in the work of your BSUs over the past year. And we're happy to say and to announce that the Black Student Unions of the state of California have taken as our #1 priority an initiative to acquire some land so that you all as our students, will have access to resources, to jobs, to housing, to have access to fresh fruits and vegetables so that you can have the kind of nourishment and completement in life. We are happy to welcome you to California State University Long Beach, the first CSU to host the ABC conference. Can we please give it up for CSU Long Beach? And lastly, I don't need to be long because I think you are all here to hear a couple of people, but particularly this morning, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I would like to just make these 2 remarks on that. 2 of the greatest spiritual deficiencies in our community today is the lack of humility and the lack of love. Too many leaders that are unwilling to get along. Too many leaders that are unwilling to bite the bullet and make a sacrifice. Too many of those that are in front of us but are not leading from behind us. Too many Twitter wars, too many Twitter beasts and hashtag revolutionaries, too many folks that can talk freedom but have not yet learned to walk freedom. But whether you agree with somebody or not, a man's work always speaks on behalf of that man. And so whether you agree with him or not, for 62 years, this man, Minister Farrakhan, has worked tirelessly for free to ensure that our people can have a better condition of life. How long is 62 years? 62 years means Minister Farrakhan was teaching our people before Steve Harvey was born. 62 years means Minister Farrakhan was teaching our people before most of our parents were in their teenage years. 62 years means that through 3 whole generations, a man has been standing on his post to ensure that our people can have a free, justified, and more equal life. And so I'm honored. I am honored and I am greatly humbled as the chair of ABC and with my brother Justin, the vice chair of the committee, for us to be able to introduce to some of you and to present to others of you the long-standing freedom fighter, the all-time revolutionary, the man who has been on the front lines for our people. Please stand on your feet to receive him, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Thank you. Please be seated. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God, who is the author and creator of all that we see. He is the giver of life and the ultimate cause of death. It is He who designed this creation, that every aspect of this creation is our teacher. Book knowledge is fine, but those who write books write to the best of their knowledge, but their knowledge is not absolute. But the creator of the heavens and the earth, his knowledge is absolute. Yeah. So he is ultimately the best of teachers. And when God intervenes in the affairs of a people, he gives them someone to teach them. The Bible says, how can they know except they have a teacher? And how can they have a teacher except he be sent? The enemy is not going to send you a teacher to free you from the chains of ignorance that he has bound us and our people in. And this that he calls education is one of the greatest slave-making devices of our enemy. It seems like the more educated we get, the less concerned we are with the pain and hurt and suffering of our people. And the more education we get, the more unproductive we are in producing the needs of our people, so everybody else comes into our community and provides us with our necessities of life. And that's why the immigrants can live the American dream on the African nightmare. But today, thanks to ABC and thanks to Brother Salih and those who are with him and those who helped to organize this magnificent gathering, we are blessed to be here in this space at this time. And I, as your brother and servant, am honored beyond words to be with you this morning. I greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum, and that is the language of the prophets. And those of my Christian family that are here, Jesus never met his disciples or left his disciples without saying, peace be with you. What better greeting to a people steeped in self-hatred? Yes, sir. What better greeting for a people whose self-hatred has caused us to have a self-destructive lifestyle. And no matter how much we visit church or mosque or synagogue, no matter how many universities or schools we attend, it has not seemed to penetrate the veil of ignorance that makes us see ourselves as the enemy and are blinded to who the real enemy is. How do you know and recognize a real enemy? It's not just the person that calls you out of your name. It's not just the person who will take your wallet when you're not looking. Break into your home and steal your goods. A real enemy is one who stands between God and the people to take from the people what God intends for the people. There is no creature that God created that he did not desire freedom for that creature to develop and be what God created it to be. So freedom and the loss of it is due to an enemy who interferes with that quest. I loved the dances this morning. I loved the talk. And you are a generation born for liberation. And that's why oftentimes your parents don't quite understand you. They mean well. And we wouldn't be here were it not for our parents and the sacrifices that they have made to make us better. But they're Pharaoh's children.
Come on. See? Come on.
Born slaves and don't know it. Worshiping the slave master's God and thinking that the white man's God will be a liberating force for us. How long have you been under such teaching? And what condition are you in right now? Snoop says, "Mama, don't cry. We're going to get by." But not in the by and by. The enemy has trained our people to think of life in the afterlife, so that you can work for him in this life and end up with nothing in your life. And what are you going to pass on to your children? How can they know except they have a teacher? How can they have a teacher except he be sent? I met a great master teacher.
Yes, sir.
I am one of his students. I came into the Nation of Islam after hearing my teacher, Elijah Muhammad, but I came in under Brother Malcolm. Malcolm X was my teacher. How much education did Brother Malcolm have? Since we all know nobody debated Malcolm and won. I was with him at Harvard. I was with him at Yale. I was with him at Howard. I was with him wherever he went. I was his little student, and you will always see me somewhere in the picture,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
looking up and admiring a great, great teacher. Brother Malcolm defeated all the college graduates that had the white man's education and a doctorate degree. They were DDs and PhDs and all kind of doctors. But they couldn't handle a man that only went to the 8th grade. What kind of teacher did Malcolm meet from a prison cell? When most of our young men today languishing in prisons or languishing on the street corners with the bars of ignorance around their head and a heavy veil over their eyes, and their women are in colleges learning science and technology and coming home to their boyfriends who can't find a job. And the white man will give our sisters a job. He's a master, yes, a master manipulator of the human condition. When a woman works and a man doesn't, how does that relationship develop? Hey, baby, can I borrow your car? Any person that this touches, it's not a coincidence. This is the reality of our lives. A black man with no job, and some don't have ambition to be what God created them to be because they don't know what God created them to be. How you doing, girl? You sure is fine. But I ain't got a place to stay, can I? Can I come and be with you? And of course, you know, your ears go right up. Be with me. But you're looking for companionship, and he looks pretty good. You see him in the gym. Big muscles here, but nothing here. But that's okay, you know, because we black women always look out for our black man, in spite of himself. But things are changing now, because the white man knows his time is up. Oh, you didn't hear me. Yes, sir. He's not going to make it into the next life beyond the life of his world. Come on. So the only way he can get into that world is to come into that world through our women. Poor black brother, I mean, he's firing shots too. He has his little pistol at home, but he got another pistol. And he's firing at will. Yes, sir. He ain't waiting to see the whites of their eyes. And so a whole new generation of black people are coming up now, and the white man wants our great young black men who have interracial parents to feel somehow that they're better than their darker brother or sister, so that they can keep this division going. Come on. See? I love the way you exclaimed when your school was mentioned, and I love the way you exclaimed when your sorority or fraternity was mentioned. But that's part of the problem. I was a lamp, whatever that is supposed to be. And I was the type of young man in college that I didn't like what the teachers were doing. Because it was an all-black institution at a time when we couldn't go to a white institution. And since our women have always been beautiful, and as black men, we've always been somewhat predatory, even from the lofty position of a professor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sure you haven't met those kind of men. But when I was coming up, I saw professors hitting on the young girls in North Carolina, Winston-Salem State, coming from the suburbs, and they were getting A's in screwology. To go out and teach black children nothing. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, under an educational system that when I went to college, I never even had to buy a book. What does that tell you about the challenge of education? If I graduated from high school and never had to buy a book, in grammar school, I was learning Latin. In high school, English, Latin, French, Spanish, German. High school student. Yes, sir. Algebra, plane geometry, solid geometry, calculus. Man. Ancient history, medieval history, modern history. High school boy. We didn't have no girls in our school. It was a boys' school. Yes, sir. The girls went to girls' high. Yes, sir. When boys and girls are educated together, they seem to be more interested sometimes in each other than in education. Now, you can't blame us. We are natural people. And if you're natural, you see a fine-looking woman in your class, you want to get to know her. And she ain't too far behind wanting to know you. And where does education go? It falls sometimes in the cracks. Malcolm with an 8th grade education. But my master teacher, Elijah Muhammad, he only went to the 3rd grade. And he met a man that taught him for 3 years and 4 months and left. Yes, sir. And that man taught Brother Malcolm. Man. And Ali came along. with a high school diploma. Yes, sir. And I watched Ali sit white folks down with the mastery that he had. Yes, sir. He was our champ. Yes, sir. They don't want to talk about how Elijah Muhammad gave him a name. Come on. Right. Malcolm had an X, but all of you know him, right? Yes, sir. I think all of you respect him. But they haven't given you the full range, that's right, the breadth of knowledge that Malcolm taught. Yes, sir. From his teacher. They give you a slogan. By any means necessary, and leave you alone. Because if you really understood what Malcolm really taught, you wouldn't be in the condition that you're in right now. Yes, sir. Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. What name are you functioning under? Well, I mean, I got my name from my father. No, you didn't. Your father and your grandfather got it from the slave master who was the last slave master that had your people under him. So are you Mr. Robinson?